The biggest news will be with Joe Burrow. You know, he had an acute injury yesterday, likely on the play before his last one, where he tore a ligament in his wrist. That will likely require surgery and require him to be out for the rest of the season. So we're still gathering more information on that, but that seems to be where it's headed right now. So that's the news, and you know, just talking to guys on the team, excited to rally around Jake, and we got a lot of great players on this team, and so excited to see this team really band together for these last 7 weeks and find a way, you know, and so we're excited for that opportunity, but obviously disappointed for Joe.
How did y'all come to the conclusion that it was on that play before?
That's the best guess. You know, you just see how he landed. Clowney kind of lands on top of him, and the way that he caught his wrist, you know, for him to throw the way he did before that, and then the next play not be able to really grab the ball, that seems to make the most sense.
So is it a certain part of the hit?
Wrist.
Did you even see it in the moment? You just call the next play like normal?
Yeah, no, didn't. You know. I can't answer for him. And you can tell as he's kind of throwing it, he can feel it as he's throwing that ball, and the ball really dies on him. Makes a good catch for a touchdown.
Zach, in conversations with him, did he say at all he'd heard it in the Houston game in practice
No.
or anything like that? It
No.
just all occurred last night?
Practiced fully all week. Looked great at warm-ups. And so, no, everything was good.
I guess you're not waiting for basically another confirmation that it's still.
Yeah, I think just talking to more, just making sure we got all the information before you make that final decision on something, but appears to be the way it's trending.
You talked to Joe,
I did.
and how is he handling it?
Yeah, as well as you can. Obviously very disappointed because he likes leading this team and knows the opportunities that lie in front of us. But, again, he's responding in a positive manner. You can only control what you can control. And his next step for us is continue to lead this team just in a different way and assisting Jake and trust that he'll be able to do that and help us be fine moving forward.
He'll be around.
Today he is. You know, again, that comes with gathering the information and if there's potential surgery. I don't know how all that plays into it, but right now, yes.
What was he wearing on the plane on his right wrist?
I don't know. That's totally unrelated to what this was. A lot of our guys wear different compression things on the plane, but again, that's something he did.
Was it, do you know if it was even a brace or was it a compression sleeve?
No, I don't know exactly what it was, but totally unrelated to what this was.
How common is that, especially on road trips? Flights?
I see guys wearing that stuff all the time, you know, on different body parts, and I haven't made it a point to ask them all about it every time they do it.
Circumstances get difficult. What do you look for in your leaders, Zach, going forward?
Well, I think what's comforting is you look at our team, all the great talent and all the great players we have on this team. And sure, this is adversity. It's not foreign to our team, you know, of the last several years and even this year. And so it's exciting to see guys rally around each other and rally around Jake playing quarterback, his first opportunity to do this. And I'm excited to see this team respond. And I feel energy. Obviously, it's you know, it's tough to see your starting quarterback, who's as good as Joe Burrow is, go down. That's tough. But was proud of the way the guys responded and proud of the way that they've carried themselves today. And I think this obviously this longer weekend comes at a good time for us, to chance to regroup and get healthy and come back next week and get ready to attack Pittsburgh. And so I've really liked what I've seen from these guys. Again, we've got a lot of talent on this roster, and this season's far from over. And I'm excited to see how the guys respond next week.
Zach, this happened in week 11 3 years ago, with Joe. What did you learn as a coach when a quarterback of that caliber goes down? Handle the team, like you said, what you said to the team. What did you learn from this?
Well, this is why how you built the locker room matters most. And feel like we've got a strong locker room as we've ever had with the character of the leadership and the strength at each position that we have, to be able to respond the right way. And that's what you learn is when you lose a player, it's time for other guys to step up and continue to step up. And you know, felt like we'd hit a really good stride there. We had a tough 5 days, you know, where we dropped 2 games, one on the last second field goal and one on the road on a short week against a good team. And confident that this team is going to bounce back and respond the right way.
When you look at a guy like Joe, who means so much to this city and the fan base here, and a guy who you've grown close with over the years, to see the adversity that he's had to face,
Yeah.
the knee, the appendectomy, the calf, and now this, how tough is that for you to have to watch that?
It's unfortunate to see a guy who works as hard as he does. You know, the time and energy he puts into his body and making sure he's at his best for this organization. You know, it kills you to watch somebody have to go through this, you know, several times now. And that's football. You know, you look around the league and this is something that happens to quarterbacks. Quarterbacks are going to deal with this kind of stuff. And now it's on the rest of the team to kind of rally around each other and find a way out of this.
How is Joe handling this?
Positively. You know, it's hard. It's difficult to get that news. But my interactions with him face-to-face is obviously disappointed it's happened, but apologetic to me, like he had any control over this. You know, it's an injury. That's what happens because he wants to be out there with the guys. But trust, you know, I just saw him in the quarterback room. He's in there helping Jake and AJ right now. So confident that he'll help us any way he can.
I think it's really early, and surgery could be pending and all of that. Is he expected to make a full recovery?
Yes, that's the positive thing about this type of surgery is that guys come back and are able to hit the ground running, you know, where he left off. And so I'm not going to put into a timeline right now before we have all the information, but that's the encouraging part is this is something guys respond to, you know, in a very positive manner and can get back to full speed, you know, whenever that timeline is.
With just over 2 minutes left in the half, you know, Brown against the ball, you're pretty aggressive there. What did you know about Joe at the time and the decision to kind of push the ball and be aggressive instead of maybe taking it into the half if maybe you didn't know of Joe?
Yeah, I didn't know. You know, just you know, you have to assume in those moments that it's Jake for the rest of the game. That's what you have to assume. No information on that, but thought Jake did a really good job. You know, and it's crazy. You look at a turning point that third down play that ended up getting overturned is tough because then they got an opportunity to go back there and score points and. So we were in a good situation there, getting the ball coming out of the half and just didn't go our way. But I thought Jake, his first live action on the road on a Thursday night, I think we had 8 full speed reps on the week, you know, obviously that the first team offense got, you know, as opposed to a normal, you know, in the 40s and 50s, 60s. So really proud of the way that he responded and just what I thought was so special about him was how confident and calm he was. And that allowed me to call everything that was on the menu and not have to dumb it down because new guys coming in the game. So that gave me confidence. I felt the team had the confidence, the coaching staff had the confidence, and Jake's worked for this opportunity his entire life, and he's prepared the right way. He's in the building as much as anybody on this team, waiting for moments like this. Obviously, not at the you know the way it happened to Joe, but that's the life of a backup quarterback, and so. Really proud of the way he went in there with a calm attitude and was able to execute the plan and give us a chance to move the ball and score some points.
Zach, given that Joe has been here, I guess, over the course of the day, how come it hasn't come up as to what exactly he was wearing on the plane?
With who?
With you?
I mean, our guys wear this stuff all the time, so I don't get into it with them.
Has the league contacted you about the injury report?
Not me, no.
No?
Do you see any similarities? Obviously, he was wearing the compression sleeve on his calf before the calf issue. Is there any parallels between the two situations?
No.
AJ McCarron obviously got in the building, was the third quarterback on the practice squad. How have you seen him evolve? Because he'll probably be sliding that back up.
Yeah, get more comfortable, just the way we call things. Obviously, he's got a lot of experience in the league, and I think he was able to quickly piece together, okay, this is a concept I understand. It's just called this now in this offense. And part of the reason he was here was familiarity with people who had been here before. Pitch, Brian had him, I think, in Oakland. And so we knew what we were getting with AJ, and so far that's exactly what we've seen, you know, an experienced veteran who's good in the room and would be able to go and execute if we needed to. Obviously, we're turning to Jake, but it's good to have AJ in the room. There's a lot of value that he brings to that. I've enjoyed being around him and confidence that he's getting up to speed also on kind of how we operate with all the different concepts and protections and things like that.
After the game, Jake talked about, you know, having a lot of confidence, something he's always had. How important kind of has that been in your evaluation of him as you guys have gotten over the years?
That's a big part of the battle of playing quarterback is you've put in the work to have confidence in yourself. And it's not just false hope. It's not just you get out there and put on a brave face trying to trick everybody into thinking you know what you're doing. Jake has done that, you know, and he's shown that through his actions. He's shown that through his ability to bond with everyone in the locker room. You know, I think guys think really highly of Jake and respect the work he puts in. And again, I can't speak enough to the types of questions that he asks. He asks difficult questions in the meetings to make sure that he's prepared. If it's something maybe there's so much to cover over the course of a week, that is the job of backup quarterback is again, you're an extension of the coaching staff. And sometimes you got to, hey, let's make sure we talk about this also. And so Jake's always done a great job of that, as good as anybody I've been around. And that's prepared him to go into a moment like this. And again, go in on a short week at Baltimore versus a really good defense and give us a chance to move the ball.
You've stressed complementary football all year, Zach, for the last several years of
Yeah.
run success. This is probably where it's even more critical now, I would
Sure. Absolutely. We're counting on everyone to step it up even a notch further. And again, I just you spend more time today probably looking around the locker room at the guys we have on the team, and we got a lot of great players, a lot of great men on this team. And so I'm excited to see how everybody responds. And I think it's a great opportunity for this team to really band together and continue to make something of the rest of the season.
How much does the offense change with Jake in there?
Not much. Jake, he's got a really good grasp. He's been here, how many years now? Right before the Minnesota game. So that was, 3 years ago, I guess. So I feel very confident that he can do all the things that we ask our guys to do in our offense. And so it doesn't take anything off the table. Obviously, you want to play to his strengths. So as you continue to change conversations from, hey, Joe, what do you like in the plan, to more shifting to Jake, what do you feel most comfortable with in these situations? That's the only thing that really changes. But in terms of the scope of our offense, everything stays on the table.
Do those preseason reps and training camp reps that he got with
Yeah.
the ones, I would assume that helps him at this
It
point.
absolutely does. He got more reps than any number 2 quarterback in the league in training camp. And so, these are the moments where that helps. And that's why he was able to go in with taking no physical full speed reps with the ones last week and being able to go execute and have the confidence in the guys. And so again, that's encouraging to see from Jake, and I expect to see more of that going forward.
Is the goal to potentially add a third quarterback to the practice squad?
I think that's a conversation we'll have, with Duke and the staff, and that's more just, again, to take some throws off of those guys as you're doing scout team work and routes on air.
Do you feel comfortable with Jake and AJ right now as your
I do. Yep.
What about AJ? Have you liked that, you brought him in, plays in another league, what has he shown you in the time so far to make you feel like being back?
A lot of experience as a player. He's got a lot of time on the field, so he's not just, a backup quarterback that's been a backup quarterback and off the field. This guy's played in a lot of football games, various teams, various levels. He's got a lot of confidence. He fits in the room really well. I think he's got a great rapport with Joe and Jake and Dan, and so that's a big step, obviously, when you add an experienced piece to the room. And so I think he's fit that to a T, everything that we wanted out of that guy. And so, again, it's been really positive having AJ here, and do have trust in him, just watching him operate at practice and scout team and all that stuff, that, he's what we expected him to be.
You're looking forward in a lot of your answers now, not back. But what was the initial news like for you when you heard it?
Try to go win, You're talking about during the game? Obviously I didn't know what the long-term news was. Oh. This morning? Disappointed for Joe, because, again, you're around this guy every single day, and you see what he puts himself through to prepare himself, and I wouldn't the wrong word is to say the pressure he puts on himself, but just the what he puts himself through to make sure he's at his best for the players, the coaches, the organization as a whole. I think that's something that obviously weighs heavily on those quarterbacks, and so it's obviously disappointment when he knows he's not going to be able to go out there and finish the job of the season. But that's life, and I told him he's going to have a long career, and this is just one of the many parts of adversity you're going to deal with as a starting quarterback over the course of your career. And so, again, I think this team will respond the right way.
Talk about a guy he's had so many injuries now that he's fought through and played through, and some that he hasn't been able to. How much do you worry about the compilation of these over 3 years now? So many that he's had to play through, and this game has been tough for him physically. How much do you worry about the mental and physical, toll that can take on a quarterback?
I think if he was a normal human being, you'd worry about it. He's not. He's wired differently. He's programmed differently. That's why we're fortunate to have him. That's why he's achieved all the things in his lifetime he has, because he's just built a little bit different to be able to overcome setbacks and challenges, and plays with the chip on his shoulder, all the things that you can say about a guy like that. And so that's why I've got confidence that he'll respond from this the right way at the right time. And again, just that's just part of how Joe's built.
As y'all have gotten more successful over the years, how much more have you seen him maybe have a willingness to make sure to put things on his shoulders, to do everything he can to put y'all kind of at the
He absolutely wants that responsibility. When things are on the line, he wants to go through him. He wants the pressure on him, and that's a credit to great leadership and people, who want to be in those moments. Okay, if someone's got to do it, let it be me. And I think that's important. I think we have a lot of guys like that in the locker room that would choose to do that. It's important to have that from your quarterback. We have it. It's very authentic from him and genuine. He genuinely wants those opportunities. If it's going to be someone, let it be him. And I think the guys have a lot of respect for that. And fortunately, like I said, we got a lot of other guys that are built like that. And so now everyone gets an opportunity to really shine that way, and I'm confident that they will.
Is there a timeline for how soon the surgery will be?
Not yet. Again, more information. Just kind of learned this news this morning, so we'll get more information.
The narrative in the national media is going to be that, look, Joe Burrow's out, the season's over. How do you go about making sure that's not the narrative that creeps into the locker room?
Yeah, we've never been able to control the national narrative. It's we've maybe tried, but it's impossible. And so what you can control is what we got in the locker room, and it's a special group of guys that I got full confidence in. And I think they're going to relish this opportunity to really rally together and show the world what we're made of. And it's a team that our fans are going to continue to be proud of. And it starts with a great opportunity here at home against Pittsburgh. I'm sure our fans will be excited for that. I know our team's going to be excited for that. And excited to put our best foot forward and put in some good work this week and show what we're made of.
How does this mini bye week, if you will, benefit you all in this given scenario?
I think it just benefits us from the health standpoint. Getting some guys back that playing 2 games in 5 days is difficult on their bodies. And so just to get those extra days to recover, I think is a good thing here with this 7-game stretch we got coming up.
How did two of those guys, T. Higgins and Sam Hubbard, what are the odds that they're able to get back?
We'll see as next week goes. I don't know that yet. Again, short week, so we get a couple extra days here to see how those guys respond.
Cam Taylor?
We'll see. He's got a thigh bruise, and so he's just going to take some pressure off at the next 48 hours. There's a little bit of swelling there, so we'll see how he responds next week.
What does it say about Burrow's toughness as it kind of was? We all saw how it got swollen up. He was still willing to try to see if he could throw.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a guy that you trust is going to do everything he possibly can to help us. And sometimes you're just physically unable to do that. And especially when it's on your throwing hand, that's impossible to do.